Sa aming paghahanap ng taong nakaranas ng pagbibigay ng bato kapalit ng halaga, isang lugar ang aming natuklasan, ang Baseco Compound. Marami na raw ang mga tao dito ang humarap sa iba't ibang problema na humantong sa kanilang pagbebenta ng bato. Sa lugar na ito, laganap ang ganitong kalakaran na tila isang tindera sa palengke na handang magbenta kapag may gustong bumili. Sa sobrang talamak ng ganitong industriya, matatawag na rin natin itong isla na kung saan ang mga taong naninirahan ay nakapagbenta na ng kanilang mga bato. Samahan niyo akong tuklasin ang istorya dito sa Baseco, ang isla walang bato. Sa lugar na ito namin nakilala si Mang Nestor, hindi niya tunay na pangalan.
Laki ako sa hirap. Di na ako nakatungtong ng high school. Kaya pagko-construction worker lang kaya kong gawin. Di ko na sinubukan pang mangarap ng mas mataas. Dahil alam ko naman sa pera pa lang, di na namin kaya. Maaga pa lang nakapag-asawa na ako. Kaya yun, pati asawa ko, di na rin nakatapos sa pag-aaral. Sa ngayon, tindera sa palengke. Nagtitinda ng kung ano-ano, marakit, paminsan-minsan, naghahanap ng pagkakakitaan. Nagkaroon kami ng anak, isang babae. Kahit hirap kami sa buhay, nagtatrabaho ko ng mabuti para mabuhay ko pamilya ko. Simple lang naman yun dahil sa kahirapan.
Jade anak, nasa ka na?
Tay,
Oh,
tay,
paano kami?
Mano po tay. Perfect po ako sa exam.
Oo nga no, galing naman ang anak ko. Nakakawala ng pagod. Buti hindi ka nagmana sa tatay mo.
Tay, si inay.
Yan, nakapagod.
Oh, bad trip ka kagad.
Paano hindi naman mabad mood? Wala namang nabenta kanina.
Tingnan mo itong anak mo, naka-perfect sa exam ha.
Ay, naku, tigilan mo nga ako.
Kung pagod ka na,
Paano yung pambayad sa kuryente? Yung pakain sa pang-araw-araw?
kaya na lang kita.
Ay, naku. Sawang-sawa na ako sa buhay nito. Si Gina may motor na. Si Jaya nasa Japan na. Tayo, naghihirap pa rin dito. Sawang-sawa na ako.
Hindi ko akalain na yun ang huli namin pagtatalo. Kasi pagkatapos ng araw na yun, hindi ko na nakita ang asawa ko. Hindi na bumalik ang asawa ko. Simula nang iniwan kami ng anak ko. Doon, nagkasunod-sunod ang pagdating ng mga problema. Problema sa pagkain, ng paaral. Basta, marami. Dahil nga sa problema namin sa pera, kung kani-kanino ako nangutang. Dito ko nakilala sa Albert na nag-offer sa akin na magbenta ng kidney. Nung umpisa, ayoko. Pero
Pilipito, may pera ka ba? Pautang naman eh.
Wala akong pera ngayon
Diba? Salamat.
Pera, wala akong pera ngayon. Pero kung gusto mo talaga na wala akong pera, alam mo naman yung ginagawa ng mga tao dito.
Pagbibenta ng bato? Oo. Di ba mali yun? Baka makulong tayo dun, pre.
Hindi yan. Alam mo naman, kapag sa kahirapan, lahat ng mali, nagiging tama. Saka, isang bato lang yan. Mabubuhay ka pa rin kahit isa, may pera ka pa.
Pag-isipan ko.
Sige, bahala.
Di ba mag-subscribe? Sige.
trabaho ako ng mabuti nun. Kasi nakapasa yung anak ko sa kolehiyo. Akala ko simula na ng magandang buhay para sa amin. Pero hindi pala. Nagka-problema sa tuition ng anak ko.
Ay,
Uy, bakit?
wala na po tayo Rigos.
Wala na ba? Mamunta ka muna doon sa tindahan ni Aling Nena.
Kakagaling ko lang po kasi dun sabi nila magbayad daw muna tayo ng 2 buwan natin utang. Saka tayo, tuition ko po.
Hindi problema yan. Gagawa natin paraan. Huwag kang mag-alala.
Totoo.
Kaya humantong ako sa desisyon na ibenta ang kidney ko.
Nak, nakasalubong ako para sa'yo. Magugustuhan mo to.
Dahil saan ko nanggaling? Kay Mang Pepito. Huwag ka na magsinungaling. Kumaya ka na rin ba sa mga tao dito? Nagbenta ka na rin ba ng bato? Ano ba? Ano ba susunod mo ibibenta? Yung atay mo? Balon-balunan? Kaluluwa?
Oo! Lahat handa ko ibenta para sa pamilyang to. Pakahirapan sa pamilya to sa kahirapan.
Pero tayo, alam mo namang mali to. May iba pang paraan.
Alin ba ang tama? Ang magutom ang pamilyang to? Lecheng tama yun.
So we have a law called RA 9208. It's actually the Anti-Human Trafficking Act, wherein it will be illegal to actually use human beings for commercial purposes. Like for example, if they will try to recruit you with or without your consent, or if they will abduct you, and if you will be forced to render labor, sexual services, or if they will sell your organs to other people, that will be illegal under that act. We have an implementing rules and regulation to make sure that this Anti-Human Trafficking Act will be properly implemented. And I think one of the most recent laws is the implementing rules and regulation on the sale of organs. So that means that it will never be legal for any person, whether it is with the consent of the person whose organ is being sold, to let other people or to actually sell their organs to another needing that organ, even if that person needing that organ actually has a legitimate purpose for needing. So like for example, a medical purpose, if he really needs to replace a kidney, you cannot just buy a kidney from a person selling it because that is considered illegal, because that will actually exploit another human being because of their poverty, right? So sometimes because of their poverty, they might resort to acts like this even though they know that it's illegal because they really need the money, right? So by allowing these people to just buy their organs, by giving them a large amount, we are actually condoning the practice of these people degrading the dignity of those people living in poverty, right? Because the system works like this. If you need an organ, you need to be placed in a list, and that is a really long list, so you are waitlisted. That means that you have to wait for your turn. If there's an available organ, it will not be automatically be given to you. Like if you're the 8th person on the list, that means that there are 7 other persons who will get the organ first before you can be given an organ. And according to research, the average waiting period is 9 years. So sometimes during that period, there's a possibility that you will die, right? So these people, they will really like to extend their life. So what they do is, they will try to exploit the circumstance of other people, like the poor. Well, in my opinion, I think that these laws are actually great measures in order to prevent human trafficking, which includes the sale of organs, right? But of course, in order for this law to be really effective, we have to make sure that the government is properly implementing it, meaning even the people should cooperate, meaning if they know instances like there are people selling organs in this particular place, they should report it to the government. But there should be a cooperation because these things are really hard to detect. Like what we have mentioned earlier, it's possible for these people to actually pretend that they are related to the persons to whom they are donating their organs to, right? So I think there should be a cooperation between the government and the people. And aside from that, in order for these laws to work, the government should always make sure that the punishment will be meted out to those people who are guilty of committing this crime.
My views on donating kidney, selling kidney for that matter is when, as we were telling, we were talking about earlier, when you give something, the benefit should not be on you, and that is called selling already. When you sell, you highlight all the benefits, all the good things about your product. You do not disclose any of the disadvantages or any defects for that matter. And a kidney is part of a human body. It's an organ. So there is the risk that there is that person selling a kidney has an infectious disease. Okay, so when an infectious disease, it can be acquired by the recipient. When that kidney donor is selling the kidney, he will not tell about any infections that he has. Is it moral? I don't think so. It is moral. Okay? Based on that, it may be needed, but I don't think so. The need for it out is more than enough to not to follow what is moral. There are two things. If they say that their donor is really just a donor, and then you tell them the risks, they understand the risks, then you can as long as there are no legal implications. I mean, laws that will be violated, then probably you can proceed with the operation. Okay, but if the question is if I am the doctor and I learned about it, no, because it's against my moral beliefs. Let's say, for example, HIV. HIV is the donor will be tested for HIV. Okay, so why worry? HIV, when you are infected with HIV, on day 1, you can already infect others. Okay, so day 2, day 3, day 4, until 6 weeks after, you can infect others by donating blood or by donating the kidney. Only after 6 weeks, the test becomes positive. So if you donate your kidney or blood between day 1 and before 6 weeks, when your blood will be tested, it's going to be positive or negative? Negative. So you are going to transplant the kidney, diba? Because it's negative. And how do you get HIV? Those things, sexual intercourse and those things. During the interview, if you're selling your kidney, are you going to tell me that you had sexual intercourse with another man, that you have a sexual intercourse with a prostitute? Hindi, because parang spaghetti nga yun. Hindi mo siya, kasi nagbebenta ka, hindi mo sabihin yung mga negative about your products. Okay, so yun yung basihan dyan kung bakit ayaw natin ang binabayaran. And of course, isa yun. When in giving, there are two things. In giving blood or giving organs, there are two things that you should consider. First, will the procedure be harmful to the donor? Oh, yes. Will it be harmful to the donor or to the recipient? In this case, the answer should be no for both. It should not be harmful to the donor and not harmful to the recipient. If the recipient has, for example, he has a disease, like I was telling you, they have a family history of diabetes. Okay, meaning he do not have the diabetes now, but later he might have developed diabetes, and diabetes will affect the kidney later. Okay, so if you are the donor, what will you tell me? You are selling your kidney. Do you have family history of diabetes?
Of course, I would say no. They don't.
So the procedure might harm you. Okay. Sa recipient, yung isang example kanina, like merong HIV, then you transmit the HIV, diba, to the recipient because you're not telling them.
Meron kasi kaming kinikilalang Book of Discipline. At ito talaga galing sa masusing pag-aaral ng mga United Methodist Churches all over the world. Ito yung constitution namin. At meron kaming social principles. And I looked at the topic, yung issue, no, na sinasabi ninyo regarding organ donation. Number one, meron sa aming social principle, the right to health care. That everybody is entitled to, good health. Na parang may provision na is part of your right na to demand na magkaroon ka ng good health, na open sa'yo yung provisions ng medicine at kung mga bagay para manatili yung good health mo. Meron din kami provision regarding organ transplantation and donation. Basahin ko niyo sa inyo to, no? Kasi ayoko magkamali. I'll just give my opinion without considering kung anong doctrine ng church. Under social principles, W. We believe that organ transplantation and organ donation are acts of charity, agape love, and self-sacrifice. We recognize the life-giving benefits of organ and other tissue donation and encourage all people of faith to become organ and tissue donors as a part of their love and ministry to others in need. We urge that it be done in an environment of respect for deceased and living donors and for the benefit of the recipients, and following protocols that carefully prevent abuse to donors and their families. And it is very clear. We do accept, it is acceptable in our religion, yung organ transplantation and donation. Kaya lang, the conditions for donation should be followed. Sabi nga, may protocols. Yung attitude of giving or donating organ should be in the environment of charity, agape love, and self-sacrifice. Andun dapat yon yung mga elements na yon. At sinasabi, hindi dapat ma-abuse yung mga donors at yung mga families nila. Once they are abused, then hindi na kami conforme doon. Hindi na kami comfortable in that kind of situation. Who is to say what is immoral or not? Sa amin nga, it's not immoral. Kasi nabayaran siya, hindi ba? Alam niya na makakatulong yung organ niya sa ibang tao to extend the life of another person. Hindi naman ninakaw yung organ sa kanya, hindi ba? That he was compensated for giving his organ, for donating his organ. Kasi nangyari sa atin, naging commercial na siya. Yun yung that makes it immoral. Yung siguro yung, if you give it or you donate it in an environment, kailangan existing to eh. Yung, may sabi, higher purpose? Is it for a higher purpose? That you are donating your organ, maybe to extend the life of a loved one? Ang nangyari kasi sa atin, it's purely commercial. In the environment, it is, that is immoral. Purely for money, and not because you have any feelings for that person who needs your organ. Para sa akin, kung ganun yung environment nga na sasabi natin, which is for charity, for agape love, yung gano'n, idodonate mo, mahal mo yun kunwari, pamilya mo. If that means yung pagdodonate mo ng organ mo will extend the life of your loved one, mababiolate ba yung katawan mo? Hindi naman yun di ba? Because you're doing it out of love. Kaya nasabi na mababiolate yung katawan natin. Kung yung katawan natin, kinakalakal na natin. Hindi kasi pwedeng sabihan lang, no? Para sa akin yung concept ko kasi, we have to step in and help this person. Hindi pwedeng talk is cheap. Diba? Talk is cheap. Sasabihan ko siya, he will still go out. Paglabas niya ng office ko o ng simbahan, pupunta pa rin niya kasi kumakalamang tiyan niya. So, anong dapat kong gawin? Di pa kakainin ko siya. At tignan namin how to address that problem, yung gutom nga. I-explore namin, o paano ba, may church member ba tayong pwedeng tumulong? Ganun lang yun How can the church as a community of believers help this particular person?
Sa mata ng nakararami, ang moralidad ng isang individual ang siyang sumasalamin sa kanyang kabuuang pagkatao. Ito ang magpapakita ng pananaw at pangarap ng isang tao sa kanyang buhay. Sa buhay na marangya at payapa, madaling sabihin kung ano ang pagkakaiba sa mali at tama. Ngunit sa madilim na bahagi ng lipunan, may pagkakaiba pa ba ang mali sa tama kung ang kapalit nito ay panandili ang kawala sa sadlak ng kahirapan? Sa hirap ng buhay sa kasalukuyan, maraming tao ang kumakapit sa padalim at mabilisang pagkakakitaan. Marami ang nakikipagsapalaran at gumagawa ng iba't ibang paraan upang mabuhay sa araw-araw. Puno man ng pangarap at positibong pananaw, isa lamang si Mang Nestor sa mga taong nahaharap sa mga alanganing sitwasyon gawa ng malupit na realidad ng mundo. Sino nga ba tayo para humusga sa mga taong nasasadlak sa nakaririmling kalagayan? Sa gitna nga ba ng kagipitan, kahirapan at kasalatan, ano nga ba ang mas mahalaga? Ang tugunan ang sigaw ng konsensya o punan ang kumakalam na sikmura?